Welcome to Phazon Labs, powered by the World 1-1 Podcast Network and sponsored by Phazon Flakes, a radioactively mutagenic part of this delicious breakfast. I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this evening is Michael Misfire Brown.
Not again.
And this week we're back to our regular shtick again of pitching our new Metroid game ideas, because we're back to the assumption that we'll probably never see them again for another 19 years. So strap in. So this week I'm bringing one to the table, and I'm keeping it real close knit to Dread, because this week I bring you my thought. I want a side story, almost a prequel, essentially, to the events specific to Dread, but following Ravenbeak. I want to see the whole shit go down where he essentially, makes his excursion to SR-388, finds out the Metroids aren't there anymore, and one of his crew comes back and it's an X-Parasite, and he has to wrangle all the damn X-Parasites into that vault in Elam.
Yeah.
I want to see him having to figure that out, and how he managed that, and what he had to go through. Because one, I think it'd be dope as shit to play as Ravenbeak. Like, that dude was kitted out and he was boss.
Yeah. Plus, like, if they follow the standard Metroid format of you unlocking abilities as you continue to play, it doesn't even really have to make sense at this point, because it's just, that's the standard Metroid formula. Mm-hmm. I think it would work really well. Like, they'd have to, obviously, they'd have to, level design would have to be on point, but like, for instance, the concept of him being able to fly for short distances or whatever, you know, that's a power. His ultra murder beam, which fuck that thing, by the way.
The nerd's gun.
Yeah. How come he got to use the Omega Cannon all the time, and I only got to use it for short periods?
I know. But yeah, I really want this. Like, I want to, I want this game to start with him, devising his plans, and I think there'd be a real neat story component you can work in there with him essentially trying, pushing and forcing Quiet Robe to do the fucking dirty work, on the science side, to progress things along for him. And meanwhile, he's now got all these X-Parasites running around his fucking fortress here on ZDR, wrecking shit. And I want to see how he contained it. Like, I want to find out, what
how did he not get devastated by it?
Right, exactly. I want to know.
They have no recourse against it. Like, how did the two of them survive?
Right. So I want to find out that very specific sequence of events.
I like it.
And how that went down. But no, I think there's a lot of cool shit you could do with, one, playing as Ravenbeak and, getting to explore his abilities, given that he is, very, he's warrior tribe Chozo. So he's already very much geared for combat.
You know what? This could almost be like, I know I mentioned the whole Mega Man thing earlier when we were talking before, and this is almost like a Zero to Samus's Mega Man.
Yeah.
Like, because he's more melee focused.
Yeah.
Like, he does have the murder beam, which, Zero had access to, but he didn't ever fucking need it.
Right.
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. So, I would also love it too, because this is something that, Isabel and I would always talk about. It's always been a big piece for the series. And I won't say it's necessarily something where Dread stumbled, but it definitely didn't shine like the old games either. Like, really, I don't think anything passed Super, with the exception of the Prime games, because Fusion really didn't, and Samus Returns didn't. But man, there is an opportunity for some choice music selections here, because I want to hear them essentially, present me Chozodian music.
Yeah.
Like, I want a taste of what that culture is. I want this to be backed by their music.
In the sense the two different clans are basically almost diametrically opposed to one another.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be unique. I could almost see Ravenbeak's clan, which I forget the name of them.
The Mawkin.
Yeah, Mawkins. I could almost see them being like almost like the music from what was that fucking game? Heavy metal fighting game.
Oh, you're not talking
Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear, yeah.
Yeah, like as I said, like heavy guitars, heavy strings, just shit like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas I could see the what was it? How do you pronounce it? Thorin?
Thoha.
That's close. I could see them being almost more ethereal. Yeah.
Honestly, I would think the Mawkin would probably be more percussive based.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, I don't see them being real big on strings in general as a species. It just doesn't strike it for me. But I could definitely see a consistent kind of baseline between all of them in terms of their music, traditionally speaking. But that each one of them, each tribe has a more specific feel to it.
Are there only the two tribes?
That's something they haven't said specifically.
Ooh, that opens shit up big time.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, they've been a nomadic species all over the galaxy.
Yeah.
So to think that there's only the two tribes, I doubt it.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, I'm sure there's a few nomads alone that are just like, fuck it, I want nothing to do with either side.
Yeah. I was talking with Steve last night, actually, Saber 230, and he sent me a panel translated panel from the old manga, and it mentions one of the Chozo talking to Samus as a child, saying, "No, we can't fly anymore. We lost that ability a long time ago," which explains why Quiet Robe has no wings, but Ravenbeak does.
Right.
So. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of good stuff that could be played with here. Like you said, the fact that it's more combat based or more melee based in terms of combat.
I'm almost picturing like Hollow Knight vibes out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially too, given that from what we see in Dread, that a lot of their melee combat is very focused around spears and staffs.
Yeah, true.
So there's a lot to be said for that I could totally get behind here.
I would almost like him to start the game without the beam at all.
Right.
Like, spend half the game before you even get the cannon.
Like, part of me thinks, you could roll that into the story is that he forced Quiet Robe to essentially build out his kit for him as the game progresses.
Yeah.
So
maybe the game mechanic of it could be you have to bring him the parts to make it.
Right. So, and on top of that, you start to see some of the technology that they were using to corral the X-Parasites in the first place, since they didn't have any recourse. That, or part of it might be essentially finding and subverting the Emmys that the Federation sent, because it's made clear that the Emmys could withstand the X-Parasites, because none of them were taken and infected by the X-Parasites. So
I was under the impression the X-Parasites could only infect something if it was organic.
Go back and play Fusion. There's mechanical stuff that they infect.
Yeah, but there wasn't in Dread.
Right.
Like, I distinctly remember seeing some of the weird little mechanical enemies that are still ordinary, whereas everything else had mutated.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I mean, either way, maybe, it might be a case of once the Federation, sent the Emmys down and he subverted the Emmys, or got Quiet Robe to subvert the Emmys, that they were used to corral the X-Parasites into the fortress and, what then became the vault in Elam.
Yeah.
So, but no, I would die to get my hands on that side story.
Yeah.
So
It'd be a lot of fun, done right.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to Team Cherry.
You sure? Because it'll never get finished.
Yeah, it's a good fucking point. give it to Milk.
So, but yeah, that's my thought. What do you want to toss into the mix on this here? What have I not covered?
I don't know. As I said, I think you've pretty much got the vast majority of it covered. I enjoy the concept, and I would love the shit out of it. As I said, I picture it playing almost like the Mega Man Zero games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if done right, this could be fucking gorgeous.
Would you want to see it in the same style as Dread, or would you like to see a different art style done for this?
I want sprite-based.
Ooh.
I miss sprite-based games.
I do too.
Don't get me wrong, Dread was amazing. As I said, there was very little negative I had to say about Dread, but I would have liked it to be sprite-based like the old Metroids.
Right.
However, I do like how seamlessly it went into cutscenes and then back out of them. Oh,
yeah. No, that was gorgeous. Well, and the fact too, they can do that because all those cutscenes were rendered real time.
I know, it's kind of awesome.
Yep. So, and that's what happens when you take some of your cues from the Prime games.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I still gotta watch those.
You really should.
I've never.
And that, or we start hanging out and you start playing them.
I can't play them. As I said, I can't do the 2D, the 3D shooter like that.
I think you could manage. Like I said, it's not traditional.
The only Metroid I've played that I never beat was Other M because of the way you had to fight the ending boss. I can't. Anytime you have to basically aim and shoot at the same time, I have a panic attack. I can't do it.
Interesting.
Yeah. As I said, that's why the parts like that in the second Darksiders game freaked me the fuck out. Because, this is my favorite series. I am finishing this goddamn game, but they're making me do the thing I hate the most.
Right. So, but yeah, no, this is a high up on my want list post Dread, and I mean it technically doesn't take place post Dread; it's pre Dread, but they've put a lot out there that leaves a lot of open questions that I would like to see answered with other games.
Yeah.
And not just interviews.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of opportunity in that.
I still think that, I would like to know definitively, because I still think that he was pointing out that Ravenbeak's DNA was what was used to mutate her.
It could have been.
That's what it made it sound like when he said, you're my daughter,
Right.
I don't know.
I could definitely see it in either direction. So, it's entirely possible. But, no, that's my thought. I think, a very tribal percussive soundtrack would work well for it. Maybe, some discordant shit going on for... when dealing with the X-Parasites. I think it would be absolutely fascinating to, see him have to contend with some of the X-Parasite cores as bosses. Some of, the X being having gotten to some of the assorted genetic mutation and experimentation stuff that was being worked on, and getting their hands on that, and maybe getting to see, like ex-Parasite bosses in this game that weren't in Dread because Ravenbeak already wiped it out.
Yeah.
So that concept,
Ex-Parasite version of Crocomire.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, he'd be adorable.
So I almost think too it would be interesting. You could probably keep the whole murder beam mechanic in check if it was maybe triggered by like an adrenaline or rage issue, so it only came up as finishers for boss fights.
I could see that. I was also thinking it could be you have to basically work to charge it up.
Yeah,
like
something
it's
along
not
those
up
lines.
to that level yet.
Right, but there's got to be a way to keep that in check. But no, I do think though there should be at least some usage aside from the murder beam mixed in there. But I think you're on the mark though to have it more heavily melee focused.
Yeah.
So, but that's my thought.
Give him several different fighting styles and let him switch between them. Like hand to hand, like he was doing at one point. Give him a spear at one point, the spear and shield.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you could even work other things into there.
Right.
A scythe would be badass.
But no, I mean, there's definitely a lot they could do with it.
Yeah.
So I am all about that idea. So, that said, we gotta give this a name. I mean, I've got an idea, but I'm curious to hear what yours would be. What would you call this thing?
Foreshadow. Something, or premonition. Something like that. Something basically that's foreshadowing the dread that's coming.
Okay. I'll say you're going a different direction with it than I was thinking.
What do you think?
I would, given that it does not pertain to, like, the Metroids themselves don't really figure into this, given that it's, him dealing with the X instead of, and I'm also kind of looking ahead at the naming scheme of where the series might go. But I'm sitting here thinking, you call it like Ravenbeak Fortress, or Fortress of Ravenbeak.
I almost think they should. Name. Like
what was that?
The fact that they happen. What's that?
Oh, you cut out for a sec.
Oh, I said I think Ravenbeak is a dumb name. I'll admit that. Because, like it's like naming a dog like Cupcake Puppy or something. It's just like just because
Beagle
he's
Paw.
What's that?
Beagle Paw.
Yeah. Like you shouldn't bother with, like, he shouldn't have a name that reflects part of his physiology. I'd be like me being Michael Nose. But like, I think if we were to just simplify his and call it Raven.
Yeah.
Or Mocklin.
Oh, you know what we could call it?
What?
Containment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that feels right. That feels right. I think Fortress fits better for one of my other ideas that we'll get to at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, we're just gonna call this shit Containment. Done.
I like it.
So we'll slip this into the manila envelope, and we'll put Sakamoto's name on that envelope and slide it under his door at his office in Japan. We'll see what happens. So,
I like it.
But I think that wraps us for this episode of Phazon Labs for this week. Any last thoughts you want to toss in before we wrap this shit up?
No, as I said, I'm kind of disappointed. This is us just fucking around.
Nah, it's good fucking around though.
Yeah, but man, I'd actually love to see this game.
I know, I would too. And the nice thing is that look, we put all these ideas out there. It doesn't stop anybody out there from making it. There's a whole world of indie devs out there that are way fucking talented.
That is true. But
So,
we know a few of them.
Now, that said, if you're going to make it, do it quietly. Just, DM us a copy to play.
Right.
So, but yeah. So I want to thank my partner in crime, my fellow lab rat, Michael, for joining me this week. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. And we'll see you guys all next week. And I'll leave you with, the classic parting thought. See you next mission. Peace!
Bye.